Back live in New York, I'm Brent Musburger, and what was a wild playoff picture when we began this Sunday is even more scrambled. Take a look at these final scores. On the last play of the game, Philadelphia beats the Giants 19-17. The Eagles are within a game of first in the NFC East because the Washington Redskins were ambushed by St. Louis, and so the Skins are 8-4 right now. St. Louis has won 4 straight. Buffalo walloped by Tampa Bay 31-10. The Buccaneers record 5-7 on the year. Also on the last play of the game, the other New York team loses when it misses a field goal. Same score. Jets lose 19-17. In the snow in Bloomington, Minnesota, the San Diego Chargers move to 6-6. The Vikes are 7-5 after losing 13-7. Chicago breaks a horrendous 8-game losing streak. Their record 4-8. Atlanta very much in the playoff picture at 7-5. Dallas now tied with Washington at 8-4 in the NFC East. It'll be the Cowboys and the Redskins Thursday afternoon on CBS. Cleveland routs Baltimore. The Colts are without the injured Burt Jones. Cleveland's record 6-6 and the Colts 5-7. Seattle upends Kansas City 13-10. The young Seahawks 6-6. Kansas City 2-10. Now games working. In the second, Oakland leads Detroit 13-7. And of course, the game you're watching at the half, the Packers up by a field goal, and they need it because the Vikes lost. Los Angeles 14, San Francisco 7 in the second. Cincinnati has just kicked a second field goal, 7-6 at the half. Steelers. As some of you may have heard, there's been an incident in Guyana in which an American congressman and several newsmen have been killed. We now have a special report from CBS News correspondent Ed Bradley.
This is a CBS News special report. The dead are Congressman Leo Ryan, Democrat from California, NBC reporter Don Harris, NBC cameraman Robert Brown, San Francisco Examiner photographer Gregory Robinson, and a woman who has not been identified pending the notification of relatives. 8 other persons were wounded, 5 of them seriously. It was an ambush at sundown last night at a small jungle airstrip in the former British colony of Guyana. Ryan and his party went to Guyana on Friday to investigate alleged abuses at the Jonestown headquarters of a controversial religious sect called People's Temple. They had spent the night at Jonestown and were about to aboard chartered aircraft to return with some unhappy settlers when they were ambushed, perhaps by someone among the settlers. The founder of the sect is Jim Jones, a former housing authority official in San Francisco. State Department spokesman Tom Reston held a briefing in Washington this afternoon and confirmed the news of the ambush. And he said the group had been warned before setting out.
I will say that the State Department urged caution upon Congressman Ryan, and we did, in a logistical sense, indicate to him the logistical difficulties of taking a large entourage of people into so remote an area of Guyana. So we made him aware of lack of fuel supplies, lack of vehicles, difficulty of communication, that sort of thing.
Whatever the State Department may have felt about the dangers of the trip, the Congressman's mother, Mrs. Autumn Ryan, felt otherwise.
He had no idea that this was hyper dangerous. For goodness sake, the group was entirely unarmed, and the shooting down of the 5 people who have died was surely unwarranted in any way. There's no justification in my mind, and it seems to me to be a great waste of potential ability.
A spokesman for the People's Temple sect, still in California, has disavowed any participation in the violence in Guyana. An Air Force transport plane has taken the seriously wounded to a hospital at Ramey Air Force Base in Puerto Rico. The less seriously wounded are due at Andrews Air Force Base outside Washington later tonight. Ed Bradley, CBS News, New York. This has been a CBS News special report.
And the NFL Today continues on CBS after these messages from your local stations. Detroit has just gone ahead of Oakland 14-13 with just moments left in the second quarter in that game.
I have probably one of the most exciting plays in the game, Philadelphia and the Giants. We have the Giants with the ball on the 28-yard line with 30 seconds left in the game. And Joe Pisarcik hands off the ball, but he fumbles it. And Philadelphia's number 46, Herman Edwards, runs in for the touchdown. The Eagles win it 19-17. See here, Brent, he didn't quite get a hold of that snap. And that's how the Philadelphia Eagles got that touchdown. Then we have a study in contrast with the coaches on the sideline. We see Vermeil with a sweet taste of victory. And then right here, the agony of defeat.
That's right, over the other sideline.
Is that how you say it, agony of defeat?
1917, the last play of the game. All Pisarcik had to do was just get down on the football, fall on it, and let time run out. The Eagles were out of timeouts, and they lost it. Meanwhile, in Soldier Field in Chicago, the Bears with an 8-game losing streak on the line. Atlanta stalking the playoffs. Here is Bartkowski getting the first score of the day. Jim Mitchell, who hasn't caught a touchdown pass since '75. Hard to believe. Now watch John James. Back to punt. Gets the rush. Now watch on the block because here comes Jerry Myers. Doug Beck was the one who blocked it for the Bears. Avellini in as Phipps was injured. And Harper gets down to the Atlanta 2-yard line. And here is Walter Payton. Gets the call up over the top for the touchdown. 10-7 now. Chicago on the lead. And the Bears are indeed hungry. All right. And Bartkowski fumbled. Mike Hartenstein was able to come up with it for Chicago. Now watch this next sequence coming up. Here's Atlanta trying to get in. Can't do it. And that ends it. And Chicago wins for the first time in 9 Sundays. And the story down in Irving, Texas, where we'll be headed on Thanksgiving afternoon for that showdown between the Washington Redskins and the Dallas Cowboys. The story this afternoon, Tony Dorsett of the Cowboys. Now watch Dorsett. This is going to trigger a fight. Face mask penalty coming up. Clarence Chapman grabs the face mask. Run out of bounds in front of the Cowboy bench. And look at him jump all over Chapman. After it was broken up, New Orleans had a 7-point lead, and that seemed to spark the Cowboys. They came right back after the incident, and it was Tony Dorsett getting the call here for the touchdown. That tied it at 7. Now watch this sequence. Staubach, late in the first half, goes to Tony. Tony celebrates, but he was at the 1-yard line, not quite in. But he was okay. He didn't hurt himself when he slipped there in that last sequence. Here he is, slithering and shaking, 58-yard run down to the 11. Dorsett on the year, 1,009 yards. And, of course, the Cowboys roll over the Saints. And, Irv, the Jets played quite a game against the Patriots.
Yeah, but they came up just a little short. Of course, the Patriots came into New York today and they defeated the Jets by a score of 19-17, picking up their 9th win of the year against 3 defeats. And the Jets, of course, now go to 6-6. In the first quarter, Steve Grogan goes to the air here. And he overthrows his receiver, Burgess, and the ball's picked off by Burgess Owens. He takes the ball around the 49-yard line and slithers upfield along the left sideline. Looks like he's going to break free, but number 14, Grogan, tackles him at the 1. The Jets later scored and led 7-0. Grogan comes back to the air again, this time hitting Stanley Morgan. He goes down to the 19-yard line. A few scores exchanged. The score is tied 10-10. New England with the ball again, this time Horace Ivory going over his right tackle, gets in for the score, 16-10. New England. Matt Robinson substituting for Richard Todd, who injured his shoulder, throws a bomb here to Wesley Walker. He goes in, and the Jets take a 17-16 lead. Here's the field goal, Brent. Missed, and that's where it ended. The New York Jets going down the New England Patriots 19-7.
I still find it fascinating that both New York teams lose on the last play of the game by the same score, 19-17. What's the mathematical probabilities on that?